podcast, North, I Ain't Worth a Dollar, with the one and only Howard Drake. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
I'm not too bad. It's been a while since we've done one of these shows, so we've been a tad busy. We've been trying to get about, as you can imagine. How's yourself? Yeah, you've been doing obviously a load of since the first show. That's right.
Been on every show.
Every single show.
There's not a single North I have not been on.
You're Mr. North.
That's a vicious rumour. I'll let you start it, but that is a vicious rumour.
I mean, I'm not saying it's confirmed or anything, but maybe.
Possibly.
So, how have you found it then since the WOS? You were on WS tour?
No, I was not on the WS tour.
Let's see, I've been fed false rumours again.
I was on the show on the telly, well, one episode, but I was not on the tour, no.
So how have you found it then since the WOS coming over and trying to help? Obviously, it's helping British wrestling all over. So it's helping places like North here, it's helping WrestleGate down south, it's helping all over. How have you found it yourself as a professional wrestler in this industry with things like that coming through? Has it seen something for you as helping everyone?
Yeah, I mean, anytime something like this happens, it's always a great help. It's just kind of good because it just opens up extra doors here and there, and obviously there's little things like the money's always good and stuff like that, and it does help. I mean, personally, I haven't seen a massive difference personally, but that's probably because I was just on one episode, and it was quite a brief bit. So I'm guessing it's had a bigger impact on some of the other guys who got a lot more exposure from it. But it was pretty good, and it's a good little feather having your cap, and obviously anytime you get on the telly and stuff like that is obviously great. So yeah, it's anything like this can only be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is a question I've been asking quite a few people, and I've had some varying answers, but most of it's mainly positive. With the likes of the NXTUK contracts, with being varied in which they can't work for certain promotions against certain people, would you say it's opening up a lot more for the wrestlers that are already here? Or would you say it's more of a detriment?
I think it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, that one. There's definitely some benefits to it for the guys who are on those contracts, but one of the things that I think a lot of people may not realise, and I think a lot of promoters don't realise, is that just because they've been on an episode or two of NXTUK doesn't mean they're signed to one of those contracts. There's a couple of lads who are probably missing out on bookings because people think they can't use them, but they probably best check because they might be able to. That's probably the biggest issue, is the confusion. Like the guys who have got possibly the better contracts that will look after them a little bit better money wise. It will benefit them because it's good reliable income. It's obviously great exposure. It's a lot of where people want to be. But some of the guys who might be getting a couple of things here and a couple of things there, it could be detrimental because they might be getting skipped over for bookings because people think they can't use them when they can. I've had one or two matches changed for me because a promoter was worried that because I've been on World of Sport and I was going against somebody who's quite major in NXT UK, they were like, oh, can we actually book them against each other? Is it a no-no? And then that match got changed. So it's more the confusion than anything is the issue, but there's a hell of a lot of positives to it as well.
See, does it seem to be that there needs to be more clarification, clearly, about what these contracts mean for different people?
Yeah, but I think one of the things there is, as far as I'm aware, I don't think there is a single standard contract. I think people are signing into different things, and somebody might be saying, oh yeah, I'd love to sign with it, but I can't do that particular thing or that particular thing. So there's probably some common areas in them, but there's also going to be bits where they vary. I mean, I personally don't know properly.
That's fair enough.
I've just gone from what Kia saying when I spoke to a couple of lads, and some of them are on stricter ones than others and things like that. So yeah, I think it just depends, and probably just go case by case.
Well, I think that's a fair statement to say the least. Now, obviously, we know you from North. We know you from all over the Northeast and the episode of WOS and Defiant, obviously, as well. You're booked quite heavily with them. How have you found Defiant compared to the likes of your WOS or your NGW or things like that?
Defiant was very much finding his feet for quite a while, but I think they've got their stride now. They went through a big change period from it being What Culture to being Defiant. That was a big change period, and it was I think overall it's better now. Definitely better now because World Sport was What Culture, the way it was run, there was a few too many cooks and things got a little bit confusing and things like that. I mean, what they achieved was phenomenal. But I think now it's Defiant. It's been brought back a little bit. It's more back on the episodes of Loaded and stuff like that, which is always good fun. You can get a lot more story out of it, a lot more backstage kind of stuff, and it's. I think it's just generally an improving product, and I think it's one of those things where the next couple of months will really be crucial as to just how good it's going to be. And I think they'll do really well because some of the stuff they're producing is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving the Prince Amin general manager stuff as well. It's
stuff
so
like
much
that.
fun.
It's like Prince Amin is one of the best guys for any role like that. If you want a bit of a laugh, you want somebody who'll just act out and just make just entertainment. He's your man.
Speaking of like Defiant and Prince Amin and all that amazing stuff, you obviously their deputy Drake.
Yes.
And how have you found it then, compared to like a gimmick that you normally do, which is the gimmick killer, compared to like Team of the Chief Deputy? Done, is it very much the same for you, or do you feel like you have to change things out about a bit? Or?
Well, I'm not entirely sure what you're on about because it's not a gimmick. He's got actual police credentials.
Oh, okay. I'm going to get into trouble now, and I'm going to get arrested.
He's got actual police credentials. I mean, I'm not really a deputy. He's called me that. But no, like we have a lot of common ground. Like we agree that a lot of the stuff that goes on, isn't on.
This tomfoolery must stop.
Yeah, like nobody likes tomfoolery. There's
I don't know who he is, but he needs to stop.
Yeah, it's that shenanigans and general just utter garbage. Just it's not on. It needs to end. We need to bring it back. Wrestling has been taken out of the Olympics. We need to bring it back, make it serious again, and make it an actual contest. Not this circus that we have at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. No more of this strongman stuff.
Yeah.
We need wrestling back.
Yeah, well, we need some actual wrestling, a lot less of this. Let's just do something fancy and then point at the crowd. Come on.
It's like a Robbie Williams concert.
I mean, you can tell these kind of people, their mothers obviously didn't love them very much because they're after the love now. I mean, if they were, a properly settled, established adult, they would need to do all of this. Got a question of North going on in the background now. But yeah, if they were well-adjusted human beings, they wouldn't need to do all this stuff. But,
exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for speaking to us today. And your match is going to be amazing. Yourself and Roxy against Gemini and Boris. Gia Adams, sorry.
Gia Adams, yeah.
Gia Adams and Boris.
Yeah.
That's going to be an amazing match. Thank you so much for coming on. And do me one more thing, because you're an amazing wrestler, and I think you're an amazing representation of what Northeast Wrestling is. With everything that's been going on, can you please look down that camera and say British wrestling will be fine?
For anybody who's worried, I can guarantee you British wrestling will be fine.